evening. Welcome to Friday evening, which only means international break is over, Premier League returns, and Tottenham Hotspur are back at the stadium. And aren't we all looking forward to seeing Tottenham? Because our Tottenham is back. And joining me to do the preview show this evening is our very own Sam Spurs for Life and Mr. PRTvSpurs all git. Sean Hurl keeps changing his names. He's got more names than it. I don't know who else, but good evening, gentlemen. And how are we? And how excited are we for tomorrow's game? Sam?
Good. I'm fine, thank you. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. So yeah, just looking forward to just getting this done and dusted in the preview show, and look forward to travelling down to the game tomorrow.
And yourself, Sean? You're on mute.
I'm on mute. I just realised I'm on mute, and I'm muting myself. There's no excuse. Anyway, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not travelling down to the game, but looking forward to the game. You can't beat a bit of handball, it seems.
This is it. This is it. And before we move on to the preview show itself, please make sure you're subscribed to PRTvSpurs and Paxton Raw TV. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channels. Our numbers are not moving up on PRTvSpurs, so get over there. If you're on Paxton Raw TV, join both. Why not? Why not? Do them both. It's for free. We don't charge you anything extra, but you get the content as well, and you get all the content. Right. International break is over. International break is over. I don't know about you guys, but I hate these pointless international breaks because it just proves that the certain England manager always wants to pick his favourite players. And what is the point of these friendlies? I don't know. Sean, what is the point of these friendlies and this international break right now? Just before, because we've got another one coming up in October as well. So
I know. There's another international break coming down the pipe. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big. I mean, I'm definitely a club before country man. I find I mean, to me, it's just a question of the FA and FIFA and UEFA justifying their position as a sort of administration. I've no idea why they have so many international breaks. You get into a rhythm, and then your team gets disturbed. It's a shame because we've been on hold now for 2 weeks. So let's see that it hasn't disrupted us.
Yeah, this is the thing. There's a lot of teams in the right momentum, playing well. The players are playing. The players are getting it together. Some new managers getting everything right. Just about to get into that groove, and then you get a 2-week break. You don't know who's going to come back fit. You've not trained with that squad of players for 2 weeks or a week and a half, and then you go 2 days and you're back into a game. Do you think that will affect the players, Sam, going into tomorrow's game? Not just Spurs, but every team.
Yeah, international break's always a bit of a risk for any team, particularly if you've got a number of players that have gone on international break. It appears that our players have come back fit. They've all trained, but you never know. Depending on how many minutes they've played each, something could happen this weekend. So it's all about them preparing as best they can and just getting through this next game.
This is it. So tomorrow, we're back in business. We're back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure everybody else will be looking forward to it tomorrow. We've got a solo man coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Wesley Snipes is at the stadium. Blade. Oh, sorry, no, I don't mean Blade. Sorry, Sheffield United. There's 11 of them coming. The Blades are coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The last time we played them, it was the FA Cup, and I don't know, did we have a meltdown, Sean? I think we had a meltdown, didn't we? Because
that was last season. I think that was when the wheels were coming off of the Conte Stellini bus. For me, it was almost the final straw. Well, probably was the final straw because it was a competition that we had a chance of going quite deep into, and again we failed to which was then a championship team who changed a whole load of their players. But we started the game with Harry Kane on the bench. It just didn't. It didn't sit right. No, I don't really want to go over that. I'm actually reading Martin Cloak's new book on last season, and it's bringing back all those memories. But it's a really well written book. I will recommend it to everyone. But Sheffield United, and the other thing I remember Sheffield United for being the last match that Pochettino was in charge of us was Sheffield United at home in a league game, which we fortuitously drew 1-1. Remember, there was a toenail offside for Sheffield United, and we were given a bit of a runaround really by that team that night, and it was obviously clear that, well, obviously the Bayern game had gone on beforehand, which was, I think, probably the final straw, but that really was the last knockings of Pochettino. So Sheffield United, we owe them a doing. We owe them for arresting our development under the last decent manager we had.
So tomorrow, here we go. It's up and running. Tottenham Hotspur are back at the stadium. Sam, are you happy? Are you glad that we're back after the international break at home rather than away?
I think it just depends on the opponent, you know what I mean? Because obviously playing Sheffield United, you think a home game against Sheffield United, you'd hope that we would be favourites, and I would imagine that we are strong favourites to probably win tomorrow. But again, it all depends on who turns up. After the internet, did they have a lot of players away on the international break? They might be raring to go. I don't know their squad. So yeah, it really depends on how the game starts. Like I said, when we see how the players play, we'll see if they're a bit leggy. We'll know pretty much from the first 15, 20 minutes, really.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, they've got a few players, but I don't think they have many on international duty. So they should be fully rested, fully ready, fit squad coming into tomorrow's game. And let's do the preview then, lads. Let's do the preview. So, head-to-head, 13 times we've played Sheffield United. Again, it's like Burnley when we did it, Sam. We've not played them that many times. So, really, we've had 5 wins. They've had 4 total wins. We've had 4 at home. They've not won at White Hart Lane / Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They've beaten us 4 times at home. And we've beaten them once at Bramall Lane. And we've had 4 draws. Doesn't really mean much, does it, really? Because there's only 13 games and we can't look into this that much, can we? Or can we?
If you're asking me, then not really. A lot has changed for both. Different managers. Last time they played each other, different players, different season. Obviously, I've got a good start to the season. Probably playing them at a good time, being the first game at home. So, yeah, I'm not sure it really matters.
Yeah, Sean, it doesn't really matter at this stage, does it? Because 13 times really doesn't.
No, I mean, it's not as if on all those 13 times with the same manager, the same team, really, it's much about nothing. They've been down into a lower division. I think they've yo-yoed a couple of times. I think so. It's not it's very hard to draw anything out of it. All I know is that what we can expect from Sheffield United, which I'm assuming will be a low block, and trying to condense the game into 15-minute game where they can maybe steal a goal late on in the game like they did against Man City, or whether we can, but I think Sam's alluded to this elsewhere, that as long as we score the first goal, and I would say score a second goal as well, I think that will make a major difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So, meetings. 9th of November 2019, it was 1-1 at the Hotspur Stadium. July the 2nd, 2020, it was 1-3 at Bramall Lane. 17th of Jan 2021, Spurs won 3-1 at Bramall Lane. 2nd of May 2021, 4-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And the one that we're not going to talk about because we've already touched on it briefly, and it was the FA Cup, so I don't know why he was even in this one, but it was the FA Cup 1-0 defeat at Bramall Lane. So, Sam, if you look at the fixtures at home and away, last 5 games, we've won 2, lost 2. But again, we've said this many times over the last year, 2 years. These last 4 or 5 meetings, it doesn't really mean much. And I think Sean's touched on it where he said different managers, different players, up and down yo-yo for Sheffield United. We've been in transitions. So technically, I'm looking at a very convincing win tomorrow. What are you looking at if you're looking at this?
Well, I'm not going to really take anything from that, but in terms of when we play them tomorrow, I expect us to have a dominant performance, regardless of how they set up. If they do set up in a low block, we'll control possession, we'll control areas of the pitch in terms of territory, and what I'm looking to see is quick, intricate play in and around that box that will be able to break down low defenses. And like I said, important if we get that first goal. If they get the first goal, it's not the be all and end all. It just means you've got to up that play in and around the final third. But it's going to be in and around that final third. Quick passes, 1 and 2 touches. You'll get in behind. We have got the players to now do that. Maddison will be key to that tomorrow, and break lines as well. You know, you got players who are going to need to attack 1v1s and go at players. So the likes of Solomon, I think, will be ideal for that. Isolate your defenders, go 1v1 against them, and take your chances when they appear. Son is in form now after a hat-trick. I expect him to kick on as well, and I expect the team to kick on and perform well.
Yeah, Sean, these last 5 fixtures, I mean, like you said, it goes back to 2019, which is almost 4 years ago. So it's not like we're playing them every season twice. It's like hit and miss kind of thing. So these results really going into tomorrow's game, does it mean much to you? I mean,
well, no. I mean, I was looking back over those fixtures. As you know, to me, there's the 2 highlights. There's the first one in that one of 2019, which is, as I said, was Pochettino's last game, and then the game in January 21 at Bramall Lane where we won 3-1. And Ndombele's audacious, incredible goal. You know, probably one of the best Spurs goals I've ever seen in my life. But you know, just another indicator that, you know, this is a player that has so much talent, but you know, no application, and is just totally unsuited to the Premier League. So, but anyway, I don't read much into those scores.
Yeah.
And we're a different team. You know, we're playing differently. We've got a different lineup. You know, we've got goals across the team, and we've got a midfield which is really cooking at the minute. So I'm looking forward to it.
Different players, different managers, different seasons. So you know it will be different completely, right? So these are the last match days from one beginning. So first game we both drew 2-2. Us against Brentford, their game against Everton. We beat Man United 2-0. They lost to Man City 2-1. We beat Bournemouth 2-0 away. They lost to Nottingham Forest. We beat Burnley 2-5 at Turf Moor, and they lost to Crystal Palace. So again, if we're looking at current form, we've not lost. We've won 3, drawn 1. They've lost 3. They've drawn 1. We've asked this question many times. Current form, especially with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Now, under the previous managers, this current form business, it's Dr. Tottenham. It's Dr. Tottenham. Are we now saying under Mr. Postecoglou, it's no longer Dr. Tottenham now, and we can now go into games against teams like this, Sam? How many times have we said it's a foregone conclusion we're going to win these games? Can we now, with our hand on our heart, actually now say, yes, Dr. Tottenham's gone?
You can never guarantee any results in football. We know that football throws up some some right weird things at times. But if you're going, if you're asking if we're going into this game, we should be winning this game. This is almost, I would say, a must win for us, just to kind of show that we can beat these teams. You know, these are the sort of teams that you get them at home, there shouldn't be any doubts about the result. You know, when it comes to the Big Six, then that's going to be a different kettle of fish, as a cliche. But what I'm saying for tomorrow is we should be playing the type of football that gives you more of a chance to win the game than when we've seen previously under Conte, when you maybe give up more possession to the opposition, give them more opportunities. I've said before that we're going to get opportunities, both teams in these sort of games. But I think with this sort of opposition being not to be disrespectful, but inferior to us, and we are at home and we are controlling more of the ball, I think we're just going to get that goal, and I think we're going to pretty much be comfortable tomorrow, in my opinion.
Yeah. Sean, agree with that one? You're on mute again, Sean.
Yeah, we're a different outfit now, yeah. So we're not going to. I don't expect us to beat Dr. Tottenham tomorrow, and I'm sure, you know, over the 90 minutes we will have enough firepower to deal with Sheffield United. I mean, remember they conceded 2 goals against Everton, who have probably got one of the weakest attacks.
Yeah.
You know, they're. Although I do believe they've added a new striker, haven't they? Is that Cameron Archer? I think is.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. Aston Villa, Cameron Archer. Then they loaned him to Preston North End, and he was on fire at Preston North End. And then his loan finished. He went somewhere else, and now they've decided to. Villa wanted to keep him, but then because they bought a couple of what's his name, the winger and another striker, they've sold him to Sheffield United. But he's a good player. Cameron Archer is a good player. Here we go. David Clark is saying here, interesting that their losses have only been by 1 goal, so don't take these games for granted. But I am. We will steamroller them early doors. Do you know, it's true. They've only lost games by the odd 1 goal. Even against Man City, and I think, Sam, you mentioned it, they were very resilient, and in the end, they lost 2-1. So, yeah, I mean, you can't take the games for granted, but I think we should be confident. So, season so far, we're second, they're 17th. We've won 3, they've not won any yet. Both drawn a game apiece. They've lost 3, we haven't lost. Average goals per game, 2.75 to Sheffield United's 1. We've conceded 1, they've conceded 1.75. 2 clean sheets, they haven't kept 1. Chances created per game, 2.5 as opposed to their 0.5. Biggest win for us, 5-2. They haven't won yet. And their worst defeat, 2-1. Sam, you like this bit here. So I'm going to pinpoint 2. And if you want to do any more, it's up to you. But chances created and goals scored per match, 2.75 and 2.5. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit skewed, obviously, with 5 goals and only 4 games, so over a very short period to be able to give a clear indication of how the team's playing. But I think there is still enough in there to see what type of team we are and what type of team they are. 0.5 chances per match created. It shows me, or tends to the area that they are going to be a defensive team. They probably will rely on set pieces. They might rely on counter-attack transition football. Are they of the quality to be able to take them chances when they come? Because they're not going to get many. I'm not so sure. This is why I don't see them scoring. Well, we'll get into the predictions in a minute. But as I said, I don't see them causing too much problems apart from being stubborn. And I think we're clearly seeing that we're a more attacking team now than we have been in the last 3 to 4 years.
100%. Sean, they've not kept any clean sheets yet. And like Sam said, we're scoring goals and we're creating chances as well. Is it going to be the same tomorrow? Because Sam said it, they're not going to create much, but we're creating, and it's going to be them on the back foot. So, do you see quite a lot?
I mean, I can't. I would imagine that we're going to go for the jugular from the first minutes, and if, as I expect, we've got Brennan Johnson to come from the bench, then we'll have firepower late in the game as well against a tiring team who will be chased about. We moved from side to side, and cut through hopefully with our inverted fullbacks and the wing play of Kulu or Solomon. Yeah, so I don't envisage them not keeping a clean sheet. I can't see them keeping a clean sheet. Rather, I think it's going to be we'll certainly score. I don't know whether historically they were always a set piece team. There was, they're big lumps in their centre back who tended to come up and support their free kicks and throw-ins and corners. So I don't know whether that still applies. Obviously, they've got a new manager from when they were last at our place. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
They should have a bit of steel in them because obviously being the Blades. They like that one. Right. So, press conference yesterday. Luckily enough, if people were watching the internationals and a couple of tackles on Romero, there was that one incident with Madison. But you know what? Everyone's come back unscathed. We've got a fully fit squad, he said yesterday. Benton goes back in training. Should be available November. In terms of injuries, he said it's the usual injuries from whoever's been out for ages. We can talk about the squad later if you want, but I don't want to on this one. It's for a different one. But in terms of the team lineup for tomorrow, I think he's not going to be tinkering. I think we've now got a manager who is going to pick the team regardless of pressures or whatever. So we beat Burnley 5-2 the last game. I'm hoping, and I'm not hoping. I know for a fact that the team he's going to go with tomorrow will be, again, Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, Mr. F fucking left back in the world, Odeji, Christian Romero, and Van der Ven. Agree with the back five so far, lads?
Yeah. I ain't really got much to say about that. So, yeah.
Cool.
Sean? I don't think the team's going to be any different to a team that, if you win 5-2 away from home, and everybody's fit, all being equal, that team's not going to be any different.
Yeah.
Yeah. My only concern is, that was a really bad challenge on Romero, and I just hope he it's not one of those delayed reactions and that 2 days later he's getting a swollen ankle because it looked really, really sore.
Now he's trained, and as far as I'm aware, Ange Postecoglou has said he's fine, nothing wrong.
Yeah, we'll know by 2:00 tomorrow.
Absolutely. The generals in midfield, the mean machine, you can call them whatever you want. Bissouma, Saw, and Mr. Player of the Month, Mr. James Maddison, will be the three controlling and orchestrating the midfield tomorrow. And then Mr. Dejan Kulusevski, Solomon will be, I reckon. Do you think what's happened with Richarlison and all that, he gets to start tomorrow? Or, like you said, Sam, as well, and Sean, do you think he sticks with Solomon? Because why change something if it's not broken?
I'm going to be very blunt here. Unfortunately, it's not a charity. I know, obviously, Richarlison's come out of his season. He's come back, as I said, he's been picked to play for Brazil. So he's obviously still in a football condition, but he hadn't played that well for Brazil. He hasn't played that well this season. We've had someone who scored a hat-trick, another player that's had 2 assists. The only person I think is under pressure is for their place, potentially that front three, is Kulusevski with Brennan Johnson coming in. But unfortunately for Richarlison, he is where he is. He's obviously made a case that he wants to get himself in the right condition. And Postecoglou said in the interview that there's going to be support, but it's not charity. He's not just going to play him, so I hope he gets better. He'll see that in training over the time.
Yeah. Sean, do you agree with that one?
Yeah, I mean, you don't change a winning team, I don't think, and particularly in this case. Interesting stat, I know people have been a bit on his case with Kulusevski, but he's actually in the Premier League. He's actually ran more distance than any other player in the Premier League, which really, which is a real surprise. It just goes to show that he's doing a lot of unselfish, off the ball work, and obviously helping out at the back as well, because that's the only way he's going to make up those kilometers. So yeah, he won't give up his shirt easily.
Yeah.
And it could tomorrow could be one of those games where he says, I fancy taking a shot. And it's interesting. I had a discussion earlier this week with a friend of mine in the Scottish sporting press up here, and he said, he's a big Spurs fan too. He said there's been one classic Postecoglou goal based on, obviously he's been following Postecoglou last 2 seasons, and he said, and he asked me which one it was, and I said, and he was really surprised. I went, it was Kulu's goal at Bournemouth, and he said, yeah, absolutely, that was a classic. That is a classic Postecoglou. Get to the byline, put the ball back, and a forward goes across his defender and sneaks the ball in. So, Kulu scored and he's assisted. I mean, he didn't get the official assist against Man U for Sarr's goal because it deflected off a defender, which I think is absolute garbage. But one of those things. But I think I can see Brendan Johnson coming in for Solomon if he doesn't. He has to follow up his 2 assists last week. So we'll see.
Yeah. David Clark is saying here he's got more chance of starting than Richarlison tomorrow. So being a home game tomorrow, and then the next 2 games we've got Arsenal and Liverpool. Does he start with Brendan Johnson to give him that bit of game time in a Spurs shirt and see how he progresses in the game and then bring Solomon on? Or does he start with Solomon and then bring Johnson on just to get a little bit of a taster towards the end? How would you want to play that one, Sam?
I'd go with the mental psychological approach. You'd be damaging a player if you take him out of a team from a winning team that nobody didn't perform badly. So what I mean by that is, in the last game we played, we won 5-2. Everybody had a good game. There was nobody that we come for said had a stinker. All I mentioned about Brendan Johnson, he's probably going to push one of those front 3, probably all of those front 3, because he can play across that front 3. But you've got your captain in Son. I don't think he's going to not start. I just think with these players now, they should be under pressure for their place. There shouldn't be a guaranteed starter in a team. I know we've got players that we've got no choice, particularly in central defence. There's not enough competition there, but there shouldn't be a guaranteed starter. So I'm glad that Brendan Johnson will be on the bench. I don't think he'll start tomorrow. I don't think he'll play him just to get him in form, because I think he's going to be an impact player.
Yeah.
But you've got to play with the players that are playing in form. Unless someone has a mare tomorrow, then you can start questioning. And as I said, Richarlison didn't score in his first 3 games, so it was inevitable that he was going to not start that game. So yeah, for me, if you're in form, that's what the manager should do: keep you playing and talk to these other players and say, you've got to get his shirt.
This is it. I think you've nailed it there. You've got whoever starts that game tomorrow has got the shirt, and if anybody wants that shirt, you're gonna have to come on and take that shirt off that player. And I think Postecoglou is that kind of a manager. Like, for example, if either have Kulusevski or even Son or even Solomon tomorrow, if none of them are firing tomorrow, he ain't gonna waste time. He will bite the bullet and he will take them off and he'll put them on. We've seen that already. Son's been captain and he's been taken off. Maddison's been taken off. So he's not shy of taking players off if they're not playing well. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. We've got competition now. We've got, especially that front 3. Yeah. So you're going to have to take players off if you're not playing well. And you know what? I think Postecoglou's the right man. And I think, what's David saying here? No, Johnson starts on the bench. Solomon assisted 2 goals in the last game. So why are you questioning his place? I'm not questioning his place. I'm just saying, obviously, he's going to keep the same team because they won 5-2. So you wouldn't want to. But we'll see tomorrow. We'll see. But I don't think he's going to mess around anyway. So, right, guys. We're brimming with confidence at the moment, home or away. the way we're playing football, the football's back. We're enjoying watching football. I'm excited tomorrow to go to the game. And me, I don't know about you, Sam. I don't know about you, Sean. But if anybody said to you, are you going to be excited to go and watch Spurs play Sheffield United? And you'll be back in the day, you'll be like, no. But now I'm like, yeah, because there's going to be some goals. There's going to be some entertaining football. We've got players in form as well. So I'm excited. And predictions for scorelines then. I'll start with you, Sean. What do you think for tomorrow?
I don't know. I've gone between 2-0 and 3-1. You know, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, we do have a tendency late on in the game to concede a goal, but yeah, let's go 2-0, and I'm hoping that Son continues his goal scoring form. But I'd like to see one of the subs or Mr. Johnson come off the bench and get a debut goal. That would be good.
Okay, and yourself, Sam?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 3-0. I think Postecoglou really wants to keep clean sheets. As much as we're an attacking team, we're going to give up chances. I don't think he was happy to concede that second goal against Burnley in the fashion that it happened. So I think he's going to want these players to play, as you see in some of the clips. So I think a clean sheet tomorrow would be just as good as scoring 3 goals. But I'm going to go for both and say 3-0.
You're going to go with 3-0 as well. All I'm going to say to you boys, yeah, is remember, right? Let me just put this slide up and just show you. They've scored in every game bar one, yeah? So I think, but then again, I mean, they scored against City as well, but hey, City can't beat us anyway, so. So here we go. I honestly think the way we're playing at the moment, the confidence is good. The only thing that is niggling me, and I think David covered it in the comment section, is that bloody manager of the month and the player of the month shenanigans. The curse, apparently. And we've won it. Both of them have won it. So hopefully this curse is not going to exist anymore.
So it's only a curse if you believe in it. If you don't believe in it, it's not a curse.
Yeah, exactly.
So regardless of whether they win, lose or draw, it's not about them getting manager of the month. It's about how they're thinking about the game. As I said, I can't see anything other than Spurs' victory tomorrow, and I expect us to score a number of goals. I want us to keep a clean sheet. For me, if I see that, even if it's like a 1-0, we'll take 1-0, obviously. But I want to see at least a couple of goals and them not get any tomorrow, because that's where we need to build off. Because we are going to always score goals. We are going to score goals this season.
I'm confident. I'm actually confident. Sheffield United. So I'm going with 3-0. I'm going to go with convincing 3-0 victory. I like you said before as well, I can't see them scoring because with our defence at the moment with Van der Ven and Romero, I can't see them getting anywhere near them. And the midfield three are just going to run riot again. And Son sort of hit form last week, so long may that continue as well. There's a question.
Their best chance, I think, are going to come from set pieces. You know, possibly a transition. I don't expect them to create a lot of chances in open play. That's what I'm saying. You can score a goal in football at any point or any time, own goal, whatever it is. But I don't expect them to create a lot of chances tomorrow.
Yeah. Eddie Ryan's got a question. I don't know if anyone of you want to answer it, but I've got an answer for this. How is it players we get from South America always seem to have an injury? My answer to that is because they're ballers and people can't get near them. So the only way they can do them is foul them. And I'm referring to Bentancur and I'm referring to Romero. Thoughts on that one, boys? Sean?
I mean, it's a very competitive continent, the South American continent. So, you know, I mean, Bentancur is not afraid to put his foot in. Romero, we know, likes to put his foot in. So, yeah, I mean, it's just the nature of the game. Even Richarlison in the past has been known to be a bit chippy when he wants to be. You know, so yeah, you just accept that's the nature of the game, and you know they live and die by the sword.
Absolutely. Right. So that's the preview. Tottenham Hotspur versus Sheffield United tomorrow. Final thoughts, Sean. Quick final thoughts, and then Sam. Quick final thoughts, and then we're out. Sean.
Yeah, looking forward to the game. I do expect a Spurs win. I'm not sure about whether we'll keep a clean sheet. I hope we do. And I'm looking forward to some of those nice fluid football that we've been seeing these last month or so.
Sam?
Yeah, Spurs victory, convincing victory. And as I said, I'm hoping that they can get that defensive clean sheet, because for them, that's like scoring goals for them, at the end of the day. So I think the defense should have that, and they deserve that. They played well.
Yeah. David Clark is saying the Sheffield United coach has said that his players will play with no fear and will get among Spurs players. They can play with no fear. That's not a problem. But we're going to be playing with no fear, and we're going to be getting at them. So, best of thing. And obviously, Mr. James Black is going to be at the stadium tomorrow, and apparently he's also doing the song before the game as well. He confirmed on his Twitter.
This is one of the things that I've said about this season. The drama, when I went to the first home game, the drama made that atmosphere fantastic. I know it's not going to be tifos every week, but if that atmosphere can begin with the songs and everything, and they're up for it, and I've noticed that there's the song before, and they're doing all of these things, and that makes everybody, and then the football takes you into it, and it just keeps you on your feet, and it keeps you wanting to see this team. Conte, I wasn't even standing up when them players come out sometimes. It's like, oh my God, because I know what's going to happen. Yeah. I'm now stood up, clapping, blah, let's go. And they then make sure that we stay on our feet by playing the football that they do. So, wicked.
This is it. David Clark is saying here, I can't believe I have actually agreed with Paxton Road. I'm flabbergasted. And finally, his prediction is Spurs 4, Sheffield United 0, Son 2, Maddison 1, and Pedro Porro. Right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to PRTvSpurs, PR and Paxton Road TV. Make sure you smash that like button. Tell everyone, because obviously, just like Tottenham, we want to be out there. We want everyone to follow us. We've got a couple of stickers tomorrow as well. I'm going to be around smashing, hitting them all over the stadium. But don't tell everyone it was me. That's the preview show. So, guys, enjoy the game tomorrow. I know you're not at the game tomorrow, are you, Sean?
No. I'll hopefully join you on the reaction show.
Sam, enjoy the game. I'm going to be there. I'll enjoy the game.
I'll try and jump on my phone if I can from reaction, because obviously I'm going to be traveling. So I'll just send a link out as we know, and I'll just see if my internet will allow.
Yeah, and we'll be here for the reaction show after the game. If anybody in the comment section wants to join us in the reaction show, I will put in the link. Come and join us. In the meantime, have a good Friday evening. Come on, you Spurs. We're back at the Tottenham Stadium. Good evening.